I became a father of the family at an age of 10. Libraries made Velumani because I didn't have money to buy textbooks in graduation. People believe that once you become rich, you will become happier. It's not correct. Bhagavan laake nahi dega. We have to chase. If you have enjoyed poverty, you become an emperor. If you have suffered poverty, you become a beggar. In 1982, I did not know where thyroid was. In 1992, I finished a PhD in thyroid biochemistry. And in 2002, I am running world's largest thyroid testing laboratory. Many people ask me the question, sir, how did you dare to resign a government job? She knows, रात को मैं झूठ नहीं बोलता हूँ. And looked at my face for a few seconds and she told, if you don't go to office from tomorrow, even I will not.
This is going on like a Bollywood movie now.
I had 2 lakh rupees of my provident fund money. I invested only 2 lakh rupees of my provident fund money. And mind you, I got 5,000 crore single check in 2021.
How long did it take you? Like, I'm really want
1995, I started. Within 1 year, there were 3 franchises. Within 6 years, there were 500 franchises. Within 10 years, 2,000 franchises. How can you create $1 billion company without borrowing? No investor money has ever come into the company, though I am a listed company. And in the school, we had a tough time. If it has rained, we get additional per day income in the field. And it's rain means you need people more to work in the field. Right. Normally, if it is 4 rupees per day, that time it will be 10 rupees per day. So once it is rained, me and my 2 brothers and my mother all will work in the field. I won't go to school for 10 days. And I could never be the first rank in the school. It was always 5 and 6. And my mother used to tell, don't worry, they are doing full-time course. You are doing half-time course. This is more than enough. If you are born in a village, you don't need an MBA.
Poverty and frugality teaches you.
My company has a unique distinction, 99.9% precious. Profit should never come from customer's pocket. It should come from the floor efficiency. मन चाहता था 1000 बोलूं, मुंह से निकले 1200.
Would you do it the same way all over again if you had to?
There is no other way it can be done to have. And the lawyer notice says, I am the accused number 1. All directors, all lead managers, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, ROC, SEBI, सबका number लगा.
Sir, after everything, any regrets?
Success in life is delta. Delta is equal to x2 minus x1. x2 is where you are today. x1 was where you were that day. And that day I was in VT railway platform. That means x1 is 0. There is no downside for 0. जो जीतता है शायद हार सकता है, लेकिन जो जिताता है वो कभी हारता नहीं. जब भगवान देता है,
थप्पड़ फाड़ के देता है.
हाई कोर्ट से दिलाता है.
वेलकम बैक टू अनदर एपिसोड ऑफ बिजनेस टॉकीज. आज का एपिसोड बहुत ही खास है क्योंकि आज आपको मिलवाने जा रहे हैं ऐसे शख्स के साथ
जिनका सफर 1 रुपी अ डे से शुरू हुआ था और आज उनकी नेटवर्थ 5,000 करोड़ से भी ज्यादा है.
आज हमारे साथ हैं डॉक्टर ए वेलुमनी सर, द फाउंडर ऑफ थायरोकेयर. फ्रुगैलिटी एक ऐसा वर्ड है जो मैंने स्कूल की डिक्शनरी में बहुत सालों पहले पढ़ा था. उन्होंने ये शब्द ना सिर्फ लाइफ में अपनाया है बल्कि अपनी कंपनी थायरोकेयर का फाउंडेशन बनाया है. थायरोकेयर के जरिए उन्होंने थायराइड टेस्ट को इतना अफोर्डेबल बना दिया कि आज पूरा देश में टेस्टिंग प्राइसेस कम हो चुके हैं. उनकी यही सोच और लगन ने कितने ही लोगों का जिंदगी बदल दी है. और ये तो कुछ भी नहीं, डॉक्टर वेलुमनी सर सिर्फ एक सक्सेसफुल बिजनेसमैन ही नहीं बल्कि एक कमाल के स्टोरी टेलर भी हैं. उनकी कहानियां आपके दिल को छू जाएंगे और उनके हार्ड हिटिंग पंच लाइन्स आपको सोचने पर मजबूर कर देंगे. आज के एपिसोड में हम उनके माइंडसेट, स्ट्रगल्स, फ्रुगैलिटी, फाइनेंशियल डिसीजंस, सैक्रिफाइसेस और डिलेड ग्रेटिफिकेशन के बारे में बात करेंगे. ये सब सुन के आपको ना सिर्फ इंस्पिरेशन मिलेगा बल्कि काफी कुछ सीखने को भी मिलेगा. तो दोस्तों रेडी हो जाइए क्योंकि ये एपिसोड होने वाला है सुपर इंटरेस्टिंग और बहुत कुछ सीखने लायक. बिना किसी देर के चलिए स्वागत करते हैं डॉक्टर ए वेलुमनी सर का. बाय द वे ये एपिसोड ज्यादातर इंग्लिश में होने वाला है लेकिन आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा. सो स्टे अराउंड. डॉक्टर वेलुमनी सर, व्हाट अ प्लेजर टू बी speaking to you. I have so many questions for you. I would love to know the genesis of the brand You. Your childhood, how was it? I know you come from a small village, right? The whole deep down of that story, I would love to get started with.
Yeah, I think today I am called a brand. But then I was born in the bottom of the pyramid of economy, a village which is not there even in taluk map, and poverty was in the background. My father was neither an employee nor an employer. When I knew who I am, I had 5 siblings. And my mother, without any income for the family, she had 5 children. So 5 children, no income. And that's how I know when I was 7 years old. And I found my mother in a kind of distress. And I became a father of the family at an age of 10. Because next to my mother, it was me. And I had to support my mother in every way. So it was a kind of, I don't say I only underwent it, no one on this earth.
Right.
I think in the bottom of the pyramid, everybody has to undergo it. The bottom of the pyramid means poverty. There is no even 15 meals in a week. And that's how it was. So I never knew what would happen to me. In village, first 5 years a different dream. First 10 years a different dream. Next 10 years a different dream. So the dream keeps changing. I never went out of taluk. And then I left it to come to Mumbai. But the way I had my schooling, my managing the poverty, earning for my own school fees was done by me. And as I said, my siblings were all 1 year junior to me. And their school fees also had to be earned by me and my mother together. And I remember I had a 1 rupee per day salary. In the month of May, hot sun, plucking cotton.
Wow.
And 20 days if we work, both of us, that money is sufficient enough for all of our school fees.
You and your mom work.
Both.
When was this? Like how
I
old
was
were you
11
then?
years old. And this was in 1970. I was 59 born.
So it was you and your mom basically
Yes.
running the whole family.
Yeah, in that way, she reared 2 buffaloes.
Okay.
And 2 buffaloes gave 70 liters of milk a week.
Okay.
1 rupee a liter. So 70 rupees revenue per week. And mind you, that was all the money available for running the family. And she ensured she didn't borrow from anyone. She didn't lean on anyone's support. She ensured that all her children were Chennai University graduates and Mumbai University postgraduates. I think this needs to go to the every mother in a village, that you don't need anybody's great support. Determination is what is essential, and you can manage it. So my mother was a lady with guts and grits. Somebody else would have committed suicide. She had guts to have confidence to drive. And grits because, when you don't have money, society is not respecting you. You don't have an identity. Your children every day need food, every day need some support to dress, social life. I think what made her very powerful was her stamina. Otherwise, she would have not.
No, are you talking about physical stamina or mental stamina?
Let me tell you, the word stamina is not properly understood by the society. Without mental stamina, you will never get physical stamina. Mental stamina says you can win. And the body supports it. That becomes physical stamina. So I think her mental stamina made her to contribute a lot of hard work. I don't think I have ever seen my mother sleeping. because she always slept after I slept, and she always was up before I was up. And this was not for 1 or 2 years. This was out of 25 years of my life in village, 20 years I've seen her doing that. So I think women are very powerful. It's very often men don't recognize it. And very often women also feel, okay, what to do? I am not a man. I think there is nothing inferior for a woman. In fact, men cannot do all women can do. Women can do all men can do, and something more also.
Yeah. And this happened in 1970 when society must be questioning left, right, and center.
Society then also, today also is questioning without logic, without any kind of consideration. Society is truly a reason for today's stress of middle class and poor class.
That is very true.
So society will put its own pressure, its own definition. I don't remember even a single first cousin had visited us.
Why?
Because they were fairly wealthier than us.
Why did this inequality exist when it came from the same family?
See what happens. Families until marriage, siblings have same economy. Once marriage is done, then everybody becomes a separate family. And my father had 3 acres of land,
Okay.
which was giving some income. I think he got cheated by somebody and he lost it. So what happens? You are in bottommost slice, little above a slice. Suddenly you have fallen into the bottommost slice. And I must tell you, you need not be too rich and too poor for the cousins stop coming. They have a scooter and you don't have a scooter, they won't come. This is, society, and part of that is the close family.
Unbelievable. But that's true. Sir, if you don't mind, you're talking about your mother for quite some time. What about father?
Less talked is my father because he was a pampered son. Very important for people to understand what is parenting and what is pampering. My father didn't have stamina. My mother had all the stamina. My mother was a parented child and my father was a pampered child. And what little land he had, he lost it. He didn't know what next to do. He didn't have energy to go and work under someone else. Nor he had intelligence to be an employer and keep people under him. What do you do? But one thing good about my father, he had no bad habits. And he was a kind-hearted man. He loved children and he loved family. So that way, his contribution to the growth of the family was near zero. Whereas it is my mother who did all.
Got it. Makes sense. And sir, tell me slightly about, you spoke about your first job being cotton plucking with mom. And you were in your village till 24, 25, like you rightly mentioned. What are the other jobs that you operated with? Because I don't think it is easy to run a family of 5, in fact 6, with just...
with all said and done with, 2 buffaloes in hand.
That was...
Village life runs. It's very, today in city of Bengaluru, without 20,000 rupees, survival is difficult for a 4-member family. Whereas in the village, even today, 5,000 rupees is sufficient enough. If you have, that kind of village life is not needing money. So if you ask me, did you suffer? I don't think I suffered. I think very often, let me also tell here one punchline. If you have enjoyed poverty, you become an emperor. If you have suffered poverty, you become a beggar. Enjoying poverty is the power.
How do you do that? Please, I would like to know what you're trying to mean by that. How do you enjoy poverty?
To enjoy, what do you need? People believe to enjoy, you need birthday celebrations, you need toys, you need fun, you need a kind of luxury food. Nah. What you need is your intestines should be full, right? I still remember I had only 2 sets of dress. Both were khaki. The school uniform was khaki. If I had to go for a marriage, I will go in khaki. I never had really any worry. See, when are you not happy? When you compare yourself with someone else.
Correct.
You live your life. I don't think anything was truly, I felt that, I'm suffering. There could have been, sometimes I used to feel, had I had 1 rupee, I could have seen that movie twice. But then I don't think those are all bringing down the quality of life. I have enjoyed my poverty. People believe that once you become rich, you will become happier. It's not correct. If you become happier, then only you can become rich. Happy only becomes rich. And so I was happy. In village also I was happy. I don't think anybody had fun better than me. There are again 2 kinds of people. One who thinks, I am only suffering, all others are enjoying. I used to think, I am only enjoying, all others are suffering.
Amazing.
It's soch mein hai.
It's all mindset.
That's it.
So it's interesting because, for the company that I run, there's so many young people working, right? We employ a lot of freshers as well, right? And I've read about your theory of freshers, but we don't tick all the boxes that you did.
Right.
But people are always, all the new Gen Z that come to work, right? Everybody is like, there is a better job on the other side. My friends are getting paid more than me. हम क्या कर रहे हैं अभी, हम भी काम कर रहे हैं, वो लोग भी काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनको ज़्यादा मिल रहा है. And there's always this unrestfulness inside of them. What is your advice? Because I'm very sure a lot of people in this mindset will be watching this as well. What is your advice?
Since you have not ticked all those boxes, you will have a different set of people.
Correct.
I used to ask in the first day itself in the induction program, I'll ask the question, guys, raise your hand, whoever is thinking you are poor. Everybody raises hand.
Like everybody is middle class in the country.
No, they think they are poor because they are comparing themselves with Mukesh Ambani. Half of them have house in Mumbai. That means they already own at least a crore.
Right.
Because they don't know what is
being poor.
Truly a mean income of a common Indian. Right? Per capita income is $3,000.
Yes.
They are not aware of it. So that will be there. And people will be, there is nothing wrong in aspiration. But aspiration should not lead to perspiration.
Please, double click on this.
Aspirations are longing. I want to be there.
Yes.
But if you don't go there today, you should not sit and cry today. That's perspiration.
Work towards.
So it's a marathon race. Right? It's not 100-meter dash. But then having said that, my days, guys who were in 20s and today guys who are in 20s are 40 years difference. 40 years difference is 8 generations. Because every generation today is 5 years.
Yes. Getting shorter on the go.
So it has to be there. It will be there. But let me tell you, they have highest level of stress.
True.
Right? Now you ask me, why stress comes?
They actually have most of them have no reason for stress. It's self-imposed.
There is a reason for stress.
Okay.
There are only 3 reasons for stress. Pad, position. Pagar,
money, salary.
Pati or patni. ये तीनों के ऊपर ही स्ट्रेस आता है.
Oh man.
When you don't have, you have stress. But let me tell you, the bigger stress is when you have. If you have got a pad without deserving it, that is stress. If you have got a pagar, unnecessarily overpaid, it's a stress.
Yes.
And you have a pati or patni, more handsome or beautiful, that is another stress.
we will get there. We will get to these points again. But I would want to jump back to your childhood a little more. Right. So we are like, you spoke about your first job and being content with the life, being happy. How were you as a student? Because you told that your mother did focus on education irrespective of the economics?
I have highest regard for my mother, and I keep on talking about my mother, though she is no more, and it's a old story. All my mother's peers, peers means economically of her slice, didn't send children to school.
Right.
Because for them, that child doing some work in the field is a solution for them temporarily.
Correct.
My mother had a belief, if my children pass 12th, there was no dream for her that I should be graduate, postgraduate. Then it was 12th. 11th, rather. It was 11 plus 1, 11th.
Got it.
She felt if you pass 11, in that office or in that mill or in that workshop, you will be sitting below a fan and doing a writing work. You will not be standing in a hot sun and suffering. And she didn't have any other aspirations in life. I think she lived a simplest possible life. She ignored relatives. She ignored the society. You know, char log kya kahenge. This is what in Tamil, naalu per enna solluvanga. My mother said, let them go to hell. Let us live our life. And in the school, we had a tough time because we are 3 brothers. If it has rained, we get additional per day income in the field. And it's rain means you need people more to work in the field. Right. Normally, if it is 4 rupees per day, that time it will be 10 rupees per day. So once it is rained, me and my 2 brothers and my mother all will work in the field. I won't go to school for 10 days. My brothers also will not go. All 3 of us will go to the school on the same day after the break. All 3 of us will go to the headmaster's room and stand. And the headmaster knows whenever he trains for 10 days, they will not come to school. He won't even ask to give a leave application. Very nice gentleman. And in villages, if you are strict with attendance, school will not run. And I had around 30 days break in a year because 3 times or 4 times it will rain. And 30, 40 days gone. And I could never be the first rank in the school. I was always 5 and 6. And my mother used to tell, don't worry, they are doing full-time course. You are doing half-time course. This is more than enough.
Amazing. But they still managed to get to 5th and 6th position.
No, I was very, very, very good at in the school. I think at that time itself, I understood. These guys come every day to school. Still, they don't score big marks. I go to school whenever I get time. But let me tell you, in school days itself, I understood my processor is faster. Evening while going home, I will walk alone to the school. It's a 3 kilometers walking distance. While walking, I will, ruminate what my teachers taught me. Before I reach home, my homework is done. Next day morning, while going to school, I will think, what is this today teachers are going to teach? To that extent, I was keeping myself quite up to date. So my schooling, I had a wonderful time. In the class, there used to be, she's still alive, science teacher. She will ask me a question in the class, but before she starts the question, Velumani, you should not answer. And then she will start the question. Otherwise, before she finishes the question, I will answer. This science teacher recently came to my home and she told my wife, your husband is a nut. And you know what was my nickname in the school? Cashew nut.
Cashew nut, okay.
In Tamil, it is known as mundrikotta. Okay. Means the fruit is here, but the nut is before the fruit. I was like that. So I am happy. In my school days, I was good at mathematics, good at science. And I enjoyed all the school life.
Sir, you told me that you were in the village till the age of 24. What got you out of the village first?
Obviously, I got the interviews from Baba Atomic Research Center for a position of a scientific assistant.
Okay.
So with the interview letter, I felt, let me look at what way Bombay can help me to scale up my dreams. What way a government job can put my family in a better economic condition. Though Hindi was not known to me then, Mumbai, no one was known to me. I took a decision to go to Mumbai, even without discussing with my parents. Because once you are in Tamil Nadu believes the country has a population of only 10 crores.
Okay.
Because they think Tamil speaking are only the India.
Correct.
And I had to come to Mumbai, Maharashtra, Marathi speaking, Hindi speaking, and they wouldn't allow me to go. Let me give you a punchline here. In life, either you can discuss or decide. You can't do both. If you discuss, you can't decide. And if you have decided, there is no need to discuss. Especially with your family members, if you discuss, you can never proceed. In life, what is easy to do, another is what is right to do. What is easy to do is not right to do. And what is right to do is not easy to do. And the family members love you so much, they won't allow you to do anything which is difficult to do.
Yeah.
Over. I knew that time itself. Then I just took my ticket and showed to my father and mother, and they were shocked, but my mother was happy. Because all she wanted was her son to sit in a good office and work. And this is a government job. She asked me what salary you will get in this job. And based upon the pay scale, it was equivalent to sub-inspector of my taluk. And she was extremely happy. But I didn't discuss because that will lead to a lot of confusions.
Right.
I took a decision to go to Mumbai.
आपका ये पहला जॉब था?
पहला एक job मिला था. See, I finished my degree in 19 years of age.
What did you finish? क्या पढ़े आप?
BSc Chemistry.
Okay.
Maths, physics, chemistry were my subjects. In 19, I am a graduate. And
How is that? ये कैसे हो सकता है? 19 में कैसे ग्रेजुएट कर सकते
गांव में बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट नहीं होता है. और बर्थ डेट जो भी बोलता है हेडमास्टर वही, स्कूल मास्टर वही लिखता है. मेरा पिताजी गड़बड़ किया, ये बर्थ डे बोलने के लिए, बर्थ डेट बोलने के लिए मेरा और मेरा ब्रदर का 6 महीना का फर्क पड़ा. जब भी मेरा IPO निकला तो उधर लीगली पूछता है ये कैसा पॉसिबल, बोथ ऑफ योर ब्रदर्स एंड द डिस्टेंस डिफरेंस इज ओनली 6 months. I told भगवान will not make mistake, headmaster had made mistake. Okay. So I was 19, I was 4 years when I entered into school. There was no UKG, LKG kind of thing. Straight away the first standard, never failed. So 11 plus 1 plus 3. 15 years plus 4 years, 19 years, I'm a graduate.
Amazing.
So then I remained unemployed for a pretty long time, for a 3 months period.
How difficult was it to get jobs then?
Then it was very difficult because, you know one thing, Coimbatore as a city was well developed.
Back then?
Then, because it was an entrepreneurial town. Yeah. But whenever I went for a job, I was always asked a question, do you have experience? No, they should know from my biodata, this man has finished his examination only in June 1978. Now in month of July, experience. This is only to discard me. Right? If somebody didn't ask experience, the other guy will ask, can you elaborate about yourself? You could have asked in Tamil, I would have elaborated a lot. Now he's asking in English. To test my English, he has no interest in knowing my background. Then I didn't tell the punchline. Now I tell, English is a language. English is not knowledge. Very often people consider English speaking has higher knowledge than guy who speaks vernacular language. तो इसमें दुनिया फंसा है, लेकिन मैं नहीं फंसा. So finally I got a job in a capsule manufacturing company.
This was when?
It was 1978.
So you were 20?
I was 19. 19. And my first salary was 150 rupees per month. And I was happy employee because I got job. Look at it. I got a job and I never looked right, left. I never looked for a better job because that job I enjoyed. After 1 year, this 150 becomes 175. Now, annual increment is 25 rupees. I was little worried. I want to get married, but it needs at least 1,000 rupees salary. Okay, let's work hard and earn more. Fortunately, that company was closed down. Otherwise, I might have remained unmarried even today. So, fourth year, the company got closed down.
So you worked there for 4 years.
4 years.
You're 23 now.
In the third year, I got a sensation this company will not run because they started giving layoffs. Then I started going to library. Libraries made Velumani because I didn't have money to buy textbooks in graduation. And college library was my place to go every day for 3 hours, 4 hours. Had I had money, I would have gone to movie theaters. Lucky are those who are born poor, because in poverty, this is known as poverty-driven discipline. ऐसा नहीं तो कहाँ जाएगा? Library is the only place. So I scored 200 out of 200 in mathematics without a textbook using library. No coach, no Baiju. I was the most powerful man, 200 out of 200 in mathematics. And I was to do engineering, but engineering was a 5-year course. We can't afford. 3-year course I did. And once the company got into trouble, I once again started going to library. Now, why I went this time to library, there used to be a Times of India newspaper in Coimbatore district library, which will come on the third day after it get published. On Wednesday, there will be situations vacant.
Job vacancies.
And I will come and with 10 postcards and find out wherever BSc first class is needed, I will apply in a postcard. Mind you, 10 weeks, 10 postcards. It's only 15 rupees because it was 15 paise.
Oh.
And I got an interview letter from Baba Atomic Research Center. Bhagavan laake nahi dega. We have to chase. We have to have patience and perseverance. So I got an interview letter. Then I left to Mumbai. Leaving home was not that simple. And that too, for my mother, I am the actual head of the family. And she felt I got my son, मैं किसी से नहीं डरेगी. That was how her language or her expression was among her peers. And suddenly my son is going to Bombay. That was a very big shock for her. And a few ladies came home 4 days before I left. I was sitting in the other side. These ladies are asking my mother, your son is going to Bombay? Yes. Do you know girls in Bombay are bad? I thought my mother will cry again because she was crying for the last few days intermittently.
Because you're leaving.
And these ladies have added fuel. And I thought my mother will cry. And you know what she told? Kedravan, yengirundalum kittuthaan povan. Which means, jo karab hoega, kahin bhi karab hi hoega. Mera beta karab nahi hoega. I think that's a very powerful way of feeling positive about. There comes the punchline. Trust your children, not the neighbor.
Amazing.
So I think finally boarded the train. August 18, 1982, Jayanti Janta, Kanyakumari to Mumbai, via Coimbatore. S9 coach, Birth 41.
Oh my God. How do you happen to remember all of
How can you forget that journey? That took me away from my mother. And the entire train I was crying until I reached Solapur. And you know, जिंदगी में कुछ पाना है तो कुछ खोना भी है. That's the justification I had. And I landed in Mumbai in BT railway station like a dawn.
Tamil movie Don?
Yeah, with 500 rupees in my body. Because 500 rupees, if you keep in a pocket, it will be pickpocketed.
Correct.
So each location 100 rupees. So 5 different location in the body, 500 rupees. And stayed in VT railway station for 3 nights. Success in life is delta. Delta is equal to x2 minus x1. x2 is where you are today. x1 was where you were that day. And that day I was in VT railway platform. That means x1 is 0. There is no downside for 0.
There's only an
Lucky are
upside.
those who are born to poor. Because poor have nothing to lose. When you have nothing to lose, जिंदगी में अगर खोने का डर है ही नहीं है तो बहुत कुछ पा सकता है. पंचलाइन हियर. जो खोना चाहता है वो कभी खोता नहीं है, लेकिन जो खोने से डरता है वो कभी पाता नहीं है. So that's how I landed in Mumbai.
Incredible. But did you job मिला?
अगर जॉब नहीं मिला तो स्टोरी कैसा बनता. तो इंटरव्यू में गया.
हाँ.
इंटरव्यू में सवाल पूछा थायराइड की तरह. Bro, do you know where is thyroid? This was the question. I was a mathematics student. 200 out of 200 in mathematics.
No, did they actually ask you this question?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Because there was a vacancy in thyroid testing laboratory, and I am a chemistry graduate. And if I know thyroid where it is, I am very suitable for that job. I was asked, where is thyroid? And I said, I don't know. Mind you, I asked all other questions. How do you estimate sulfate? How do you estimate phosphate, nitrate? Everything I answered. Chemistry side. But biology side, I don't know. And I got the job. In 1982, I did not know where thyroid was. In 1992, I finished a PhD in thyroid biochemistry. And in 2002, I am running world's largest thyroid testing laboratory. Right? So this is not anything I planned, anything I expected to happen. It happened. So that is how that job became a turning point. And good job, government job, good salary. Now you go and ask anybody who is working in government, you know what they will tell? Useless salary. Today, employees never appreciate their job or their salary. For me, who was drawing 150 rupees per month, today 1,000 rupees per month becomes a great salary. Lucky are those who are born to poor because you are starting from 0.
Yeah.
Whatever you get, you be happy. So, wonderful job, very good salary. And my father-in-law was in love with me.
So you're already married when you're in job.
Now, father-in-law is in love with me means it was not a love marriage.
Okay. Okay.
It was an arranged marriage.
Okay.
Now, he is walking to me. He wants me to marry his daughter. He was working in the BRC, where I was working. He was working there. He was a security officer. And he understood this boy, tall, dark, handsome. And he felt that he can be a match to his daughter. And he was walking to me. But my problem, already I told you. In my village, all those ladies told to my mother, Bombay girls are bad.
Very bad.
Now, if I marry his daughter, they will not believe that my father-in-law loved me. They will think I only fell in love. So I thought, let me not marry. Moreover, a boy who was born in a village and a girl who is born in Mumbai, nahi jamega. It's जमीन आसमान की फर्क.
आपको तब तक हिंदी मराठी ये सब आता था?
नहीं, वो सब आने के लिए 5-10 साल लगे.
अच्छा.
So I didn't respond to him.
Okay.
And he kept on walking. I told him, sorry, I don't want to marry a Bombay girl. 82. First year I went. In 82 itself, he is asking. 83, he is coming again. 84, he is coming again. I say no. And 85, he again comes. I thought, it's an insult if I don't even see the girl and refuse. And by that time, I got some courage that I can marry a Bombay girl. Because that needs time. Within 4 years, I thought my life is going to be in Mumbai, which means I should explore. So I agreed to meet her. So I told him, Okay, I will have a look at the girl. So I go to his home, and home in a monsoon day, it was not illuminated home. Then what boys normally tell when they go and see the girl, we will come back, right?
Discuss and decide.
Discuss and decide. We'll discuss with family and come back. And then I didn't go back. Now they should have understood, but then they didn't understand because they were determined. They wanted this to be explored. So again, my father-in-law walks. I told my landlady, who was a Maharashtrian lady, if he comes, tell I am not inside, even if I am inside. 5 times he managed. Still coming. And she told me, no, please, you only manage. You must tell the truth. Once you tell the truth, it will end.
Correct.
Then I sat in front of my father-in-law. Very cute face. After a few seconds, a very strong mathematics man, think very fast. And I thought it's not fair on my part. After seeing the girl, telling her father, it will not work. What he will think? My daughter is rejected. Otherwise, you can tell many reasons. Then my mind said, let me meet the girl and discourage her. Why to tell this man?
Get rejection from the other side.
So I told him, can you arrange for a meeting for 1 hour with her? He said, I will arrange. It was Madam Kama Road, Nariman Point, Mumbai. State Bank of India, 14th floor, International Division, where my wife was working.
Oh. The building still exists today, right?
Yes, even now it is the headquarters for the
SBI.
SBI. So I went there on a Saturday, half a day. 2 o'clock I reached there. So we were given a room by her boss to sit and talk. And I was sitting in front of her. And 1 hour, how many minutes are there? 60 minutes. 55 minutes I only talked. And 5 minutes absolute silence was there. She didn't utter a single word. I thought I must marry her. कहीं देखा क्या एक लड़की चुपचाप 1 घंटा बैठ सकता है क्या? She can sit. Pass. Second one, कुछ बोला ही नहीं है, पूछा ही नहीं है, react ही नहीं किया. That means she doesn't have any expectation. In my mind, I decided it looks like I should proceed. And of course, that day in that bank illuminated room, she looked as far as I am, and I did not look for anything fairer than me. That also clear, tick, tick. And you must be wondering what I talked in 55 minutes, right? I can tell you in 55 seconds. Look, I don't have a house. I live as a paying guest, lifelong paying guest. You should not be grumbling. Number 2, a girl is there in village. In village, I have a house, but there is no toilet. You must understand what does it mean. For my parents, I am the eldest son. So they are as good as your parents. You have to take care of them till their last day. For my siblings, I am the eldest brother. All their marriages are your responsibility. For our marriage, I don't have money. You have to support. And for you supporting, for me in our marriage, should not be known to your father. Any insane girl will agree. She didn't respond. She didn't smile. She didn't zero expression in the face. So I told,
Did you think that you'll get rejected by her by default now?
No, I knew the minute or the way in which she is hearing, I knew that it is moving towards positivity. Okay. So I told her finally, if you still feel you want to marry me, send your father to my home. If no, tell your father there is something wrong with that boy. Problem solved.
Ball is on the other side.
Other side. So I left the same night. My father-in-law reached me. That means he had agreed for all the conditions. And I want you to listen to the next portion of it. After 3 months of engagement, I asked her one day, I told you so many things. Still you marrying me only. What you liked in me? My nose, my cheeks, my chin. You know what she said? I don't want to be a short daughter-in-law in a tall house. I want to be a tall daughter-in-law in a short house. I think very powerful statement. She perceived life very, very different. Number one. Number two, I knew you were discouraging me. Which boy will sit in front of the girl whom he is likely to marry and he will tell, I am like a beggar, I don't have anything. You are discouraging me. And you know what she told? Third reason, I know you are a storyteller. The first one who found out I am a good storyteller was my wife. So we got married and 2 children. And another interesting point in the job site. I was working under a blind man for 14 years. My boss was completely blind.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Until 40, he had eyesight. He lost it. And because of which he cannot see, but he still worked. And I was working under him for everything, reading, to going to toilet, to going to canteen. His hand was on my shoulder. And it was, generally you ask today's youth generation, will you work under a blind man? मेरा career क्या होएगा? मैं भी सोचा था, if I work under a blind man, what will happen to my career? सोचा था. But I understood, if I don't like to work and if they ask me to resign, my family will be in poverty. I agreed to work. Trust me, because I was nice to him, he was extremely nice to me. Bosses are at times bad, not always bad. But if you are nice to the boss has to be nice to you. Because I was very, very loyal to him, he made me to do 2 more degrees. I went with BSc. He made me to do MSc. He made me to do PhD because he was reciprocating my respect for him in terms of getting me additional degrees while working. BARC as an institute is recognized by Mumbai University for doing research. So I was lucky. So 2 children, 2 degrees, 2 promotions, too many increments, 2 good salary. Me, Government of India salary, my wife, State Bank of India salary. Something is wrong with life.
कीड़ा.
इतना तो साथ में अच्छा लगेगा, तो it's a comfort zone. Comfort zones are danger zones. In comfort zone, you know what is the problem? Your stamina goes down. If you are in comfort zone for 10 years, your stamina becomes 0.
Because it's all predictable.
So I think that is where I felt I should take a call and resign my job. And many people ask me the question, sir, how did you dare to resign a government job? And let me tell you, there are 2 kinds of people. One says, मैं इधर तक आ गया, अभी रिस्क नहीं लेना. Second man thinks, मैं तो उधर था, इधर तक तो आ ही गया,
अब क्यों?
मैं रिस्क लूंगा तो मैं वहां जा सकता.
ओके. ऑपोजिट.
जिंदगी में 2 ही तरीका के लोग हैं. एक रिस्क लिया, स्टोरी बनाया. दूसरा KPM.
दूसरा
KPM, खाया पिया मर गया. रिस्क नहीं लिया तो फिर उतना ही होता है ना. So I took the risk and I left the government job.
When was this?
1995 May. So I resigned my job without discussing with my wife. Look at here. Left to Coimbatore without discussing with parents. Married a Bombay girl without discussing with my mother.
How did that happen? That's going to be
She is sitting here. I am sitting there. It's not easy for logistically for her to take part in discussion and all those things. One thing about my mother, she trusts me. I made a small, what you call as a trailer. I decided to marry her, but I went to my native place. I didn't tell her that I have taken this decision. I told mother, I hope you will forgive me. She asked me, what is the issue? I am in love with a Maharashtrian girl. What to do? She was silent for a few seconds. After a few seconds, she asked me a question. Maharashtrian girl? Then how will I talk to her? She didn't ask me. चार लोग क्या बोलेगा? What was her worry?
How will I talk to her?
Then I told her, I have given her, only when you talk Tamil, I will marry. So now she is learning Tamil. And she was happy. But finally, I didn't marry a Maharashtrian girl. The girl is from Kumbakonam.
Oh.
Tamil girl, Naidu girl. Finally, my mother was happy. My mother was extremely happy because it's a bank salary. See, family's economic position is the greatest goal for the family.
Makes sense.
She agreed for whatever I said. And then I left the government job without discussing with my wife.
When you were leaving, before we get there, quick question. When you were leaving, were there, क्या आपने ऐसे सोचा कि यार ओनली वाइफ का सैलरी है, इतना सेविंग्स है इसलिए छोड़ दिया? मतलब सोचा तो होगा ना क्या होगा अगर ये वर्कआउट नहीं करेगा? Or did you even have the idea of what you wanted to do?
Right. I'll tell you how it happened. One fine Friday morning, I am in office. Morning, no inclination, no even doubt.
सोच के नहीं गया था?
नहीं गया.
अच्छा.
लंच में गया, लंच खाया, वापस आया, ड्रायर खोला, ड्रायर में I see a passbook. Me and my wife had a joint account.
Okay.
In that passbook, the closing balance was 2 lakh rupees. But now, 1995, 2 lakhs is a very big sum. My monthly expenditure was 5,000. So how many months?
40 months.
40 months, family is safe, tick number 1. All my colleagues, right, left, everybody already purchased 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom hall kitchens.
अच्छा.
Either tak EMI. I was the only guy without EMI.
No debt.
Tick number 2. And tick number 3, my wife is working with State Bank of India. और क्या चाहिए?
घर चल जाएगा.
And I resigned and went home. Friday evening, I have resigned and gone home.
So just the passbook देख के आपने resign कर लिया?
इतना closing balance है करके verify किया.
ठीक है.
मन किया कि resign करो. तो resign किया. उसका आगे क्या हुआ वो भी बताता हूँ.
It's going to be a fun story.
Dinner में मैं कुछ बोला ही नहीं है. Mind you, मैं 37. My daughter 3 years. My son is 5 years. Most crucial portion of life. And रात को खाना खा के we went to the bed. Night 2 o'clock, my wife is asking, आज आप सोया नहीं है?
क्या चल रहा है?
I just told, I have resigned. She knows रात को मैं झूठ नहीं बोलता हूँ. Until that time, she was horizontal. Then she became vertical. And she went and switched on the light and looked at my face for a few seconds. And she told, if you don't go to office from tomorrow, even I will not go. 3 टिक था.
एक उड़ गया.
तीसरा टिक उड़ गया. And mind you, रात को 2 बजे धमकी. If you don't go back, I also will not go. मैं तो सलमान खान हूँ. एक बार डिसीजन लेता हूँ, फिर खुद का नहीं सुनता हूँ. I have to tell an equivalent in Tamil. ஒரு தடவை சொன்னா 1000 தடவை சொன்ன மாதிரி. So once he told this, until that time I was horizontal, then even I became vertical. And I told her in Hindi, चलो साथ जिएंगे साथ मरेंगे. You also don't go. This story is most powerful story because both of us gave up the job on the same day.
She actually did?
Yes.
Oh, wow. This is going on like a Bollywood movie now.
She did not go to office from that day. After 6 months, I asked her, Pagal, I took a decision on your strength that you are working with bank. Why did you also took that decision? You know what she told? You know you will win. Even I know you will win. But no one knows without me you can't win. A very powerful state. By that time, 14 years we were living together. And she knew one thing. If I supported, I can achieve anything. I think that's very, very important. She destroyed or she removed her identity to make sure I become successful. Otherwise, good State Bank of India job is not easy to live, especially when the husband has left the job. Yeah. So that was, in fact, a very powerful, very often I am asked by the organizers of event, sir, on what subject you want to talk? Romance with risk. The bigger is the risk, the biggest is the reward. So I want people to understand, if you have a plan B, plan A doesn't work. I got in there and I put full focus, full determined, powerful journey it was.
Sir, did you know that you are going to start, मतलब थायरोकेयर का पहले से प्लान था?
नहीं, मेरा थायराइड में PhD था.
हाँ.
तभी थोड़ा इंसाइट्स था. ये थोड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट है. Otherwise it looks like Velumani एक पीसीस और कार्ब जैसा मैजिशियन है. थायराइड टेस्टिंग रिएजेंट यूरोप से इंपोर्ट किया जाता था.
Okay.
I was asked to head a small team for making it locally.
When you were working at
BRC, and within 3-4 years we got breakthrough. And when you purchase it, it's 150 rupees. When you make it here, it is only 30 rupees. That gave power to take a decision for resigning. Now, why I didn't discuss about this with my wife? Everybody asks a question, but let me tell you, if I tell my wife I want to resign, next day my father-in-law will sit in my house. मैं कैसा मेरा father-in-law को ये पूरा समझा पाऊंगा?
If you decided there is no reason to discuss.
There are 3 kinds of people. One who cannot see what others can see. Second man can see what others can see and he is a very good employee. Third man can see what others cannot see. He is an entrepreneur.
So well put.
I saw clearly 150 rupees, these guys are buying reagent and selling thyroid test for 600 rupees.
Back in the day?
Yes, 1995.
600 rupees.
600 rupees. But nothing is overcharged because there are people involved, cost involved.
अगर टेस्ट किट अगर 150 रुपए
and volume नहीं है, सभी का छोटा-छोटा volume था तो वो करना था. When I got 30 rupees, I thought I can disrupt.
Correct.
In business language, entrepreneur language, let me tell you, what is COGS? In business, you don't know what is COGS?
Cost of goods and services.
Cost of goods. If you know COGS, you can do business. But if you know COGS of COGS, you can disrupt. I knew COGS of COGS.
You kind of made it. Worked on it.
So when I got into the field, my competitors didn't understand ये आदमी करता क्या है. क्योंकि इतना रेट कम में कैसे होएगा? But then let me tell you, I also had an option to charge. If they were charging 600, I could have charged 1,500. You know why? I'm a PhD in thyroid biochemistry. A very rare qualification.
Yeah.
But then I charged only 300 rupees. Instead of 600, I charged only 300. My cost is 30. मैं इतना profit क्या करूं? This was my problem. But then I found a solution because I wanted a middleman, franchisee, to collect specimen from different location. I don't want to go and collect. So I told him, unemployed, underemployed guys, देखो market 600 रुपया देता है. तुम 300 रुपया ले लो, उससे ज़्यादा मत लो. 200 रुपया रख लो, 100 रुपया दे दो. He felt unconscious. 60% कोई margin दे
तो हाँ.
That is the business. That is the business model. पंचलाइन सुनना है क्या?
सुना.
जो कम लेना चाहता है उसको ज़्यादा ही मिलता है. जो ज़्यादा लेना चाहता है उसको कम ही मिलता है. Now these franchisees have not slept for last 30 years. All over the country, 5,000 guys. Punchline. If you want to become a billionaire, create 1,000 millionaires. Adding to that is the another punchline. जो जीतता है शायद हार सकता है, लेकिन जो जिताता है वो कभी हारता नहीं. So I made 5,000 guys in the country.
How long did it take you? Like, I'm really
1995, I started. Within 1 year, there were 3 franchises. Within 6 years, there were 500 franchises. Within 10 years, there were 2,000 franchises.
how did you go about? I just want to go back because अभी मुझे समझ में आता है फ्रेंचाइजी मतलब there are so many digital sources. अब वेबसाइट में डाल दो लोग आ
अभी
जाएंगे, तब कैसे
हिंदुस्तान
हुआ?
में फ्रेंचाइजी कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं था. मैंने
तब था ही नहीं.
फ्रेंचाइजी कॉन्सेप्ट लाया था, लेकिन किसी को नहीं समझ में आया कि ये
Franchisee
पॉसिबल है. McDonald only brought the franchises word into this country. I did it in 1990. Let me explain you here. There were three things needed for this business: IT, HR, logistics.
Okay.
उस जमाना में IT है ही नहीं, क्योंकि इंटरनेट ही नहीं है. वे सिर्फ कंप्यूटर था. इंटरनेट 1995 में आया. फर्स्ट वेब सर्वर इन हेल्थ केयर इंडस्ट्री में मेरा था. सो आई वाज लीडिंग इन IT इन हेल्थ केयर इंडस्ट्री. HR ऑल फ्रेशर्स को लिया, ट्रेन किया. HR is to be created. And I created logistics. I was the king. I was the first guy to have a single laboratory in Navi Mumbai for 1 billion population in the country.
So there was only one lab.
Only one lab. From 60 airports across the country, specimen used to come in the last flight every day, every night, before midnight, and only in night, all samples will reach. I was a logistics king. So IT, HR, logistics, ये तीनों उस जमाना में कार्गो नहीं है, एयर कार्गो सिस्टम नहीं था. मैंने आया तो वो सिस्टम तभी चालू हुआ. कुरियर्स जगह पे नहीं था. So a lot of things. Yeah. I did a lot of innovation into this business. I think the business is not just because the reagents are cheap. Centralized kitchen and 5,000 restaurants. Cloud kitchen मैंने बनाया, तभी किसी को पता नहीं था cloud kitchen क्या होता है. And then IT. First time if somebody has put a barcode on a test tube, it was me. टेस्टिंग लेबोरेटरी का टेस्ट ट्यूब होता है, उसके ऊपर बारकोड फर्स्ट टाइम हिंदुस्तान में किसी ने लगाया तो मैं लगाया. IT बनी. सो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. आई हैव क्रिएटेड अ मैकडोनाल्ड. मैकडोनाल्ड doesn't serve you masala dosa. It only gives you burger. Not because they can't make masala dosa. They don't want to do that. They only did burgers. There are two things in healthcare pathology. One is diseases, another is disorders. I didn't touch diseases. I only touched disorders.
You niche down.
It is like dead and equity. That fellow does business with equity only, and these people do everything. I specialized. Punchline here. In life, you have only two options. One is do everything in one location, or do one thing in every location. And I did only one thing every location. So disorder करके focus किया. McDonald जैसा focus था. Went all over the country. I've done Uber. Until Uber came into the country, taxis were standing for 20 hours and running for 4 hours. Today they are running for 20 hours. Until I came into picture, thyroid testing machines were standing for 22 hours. Today they run 24 hours. I have done Walmart. Walmart doesn't make profit from the customer. They make profit from the vendor. Today, my reagents I am purchasing from Siemens. My buying reagent from outside was still, they didn't compromise on the rate. The minute they found this man can make his own reagent, they compromised on that rate. And then onward, it's bulk purchase. Ordinary labs used to buy 100 tests per month. I was buying 100,000 tests per month when I exited. So 45-50% margin comes from the vendor, not from the customer. I have done Amazon. 1995, there is nothing known as home service for pathology solution. 90% of the blood is collected at home. Amazon is delivering at home today. Velumani did it even 25 years back. No, I can put all the dots in place. But then this brain was running very fast. So much so, I copied newspaper industry. Do you know it?
What do you mean?
News is collected in the day, news is printed in the night.
Right.
Samples are collected in the day, samples are tested in the night. And next day morning, report morning 8 o'clock. So I copied newspaper industry, not the pathology industry. Punchline. वो मत करो जो पड़ोसी करता है, क्योंकि फिर आप वो ही होगा जो पड़ोसी हुआ. If you do different, you will be different. So a lot of things went, that for years have been very active, fully focused until I was 18 years into business. I never went out for a networking event. Understand? Today, in the first year of entrepreneurship,
Not
before
first
the
year.
first crore turnover, every evening networking. Networking means daru chalu. Daru chalu means khatam. Let me tell you, in tea tables, lot of deals are done, not in the beer tables. So that was a very active innovation of the entire business. The time of entry of mine was very powerful. Let me give you an example. There was an MTNL, BSNL or MTNL, all
yes.
were charging Bengaluru to Delhi 3 minutes, 100 rupees in 1990. Right?
Was not born
Then came Airtel,
Correct.
1 rupee per minute. Then came Jio, voice free,
Pay for internet.
pay for internet. Now, in pathology industry, there was operations like MTNL, BSNL. This Jio came straight. There was no Airtel in between. So I disrupted the industry. Everybody had a tough time to rework on it. And everybody understood the power of volume. Volume रहेगा तो reagent cost कम होता है. So I think the entire industry last 30 years has gone a totally different kind of journey.
सर इनक्रेडिबल सो मच बट आपके पास ज्यादा पैसे ऐसे नहीं था टू इन्वेस्ट ऑल्सो टू गेट योर फर्स्ट 5 फ्रेंचाइज गेट योर फर्स्ट फ्रेंचाइजी डन जो आपका ही है खुद का लैब है
पंचलाइन सुनना है.
हाँ बताओ सर.
In pathology business, no one opens the syringe before customer opens the purse. The customer funded business.
But sir, for research and for research, matlab for equipment and all, you still need money, right?
2 lakh rupees. There is a saying in Tamil, especially Coimbatore saying it is, Maira katti, malaya ilu, vanda mala, anda mairu. In Hindi, एक लंबा बाल खींचो, उसमें एक नाट बांधो, एक पहाड़ के ऊपर डालो, खींचो, आया तो पहाड़, गया तो बाल. I had 2 lakh rupees of my provident fund money. I invested only 2 lakh rupees of my provident fund money. And mind you, I got a 5,000 crore single check in 2021. Pahad aayi gaya. It took 27 years to get that. But then that is it. And honestly speaking, my company has never borrowed.
You've never raised capital.
I personally have never borrowed. I have never paid EMI in my life. Punchline. Definition of heaven. Clutter-free brain, fear-free heart, EMI-free life. जिंदगी में EMI भरा ही नहीं है. How can you create a $1 billion company without borrowing?
Without debt.
Without debt. And there is no investor money has ever come into the company, though I am a listed company.
How did you run this business like that?
Listen to me. That is known as stamina, focus, frugality, discipline gives success. I told from a village, poverty. That means stamina. Without stamina, you can't focus. Focus means you are sitting and reading and you read for 5 hours. That means stamina.
Yes.
Working and you're working for 5 hours. That is stamina.
Correct.
So that is focus. If you have stamina, you are living a frugal life. You walk 2 kilometers, you don't wait for 400 meters a taxi. Literally speaking, the stamina, once it is there, frugality. Frugality means your bank balance is good. If you have stamina, you have discipline. And stamina, focus, frugality, discipline gives to success. I don't know anything else. Otherwise, how did it happen that without borrowing, without taking money inside, it works? So I told this guy, look, 600 rupiah market, 300 rupiah lo, 100 rupiah do. There was a long line.
Correct. People.
Then I told, pay 1 lakh deposit. 5,000 people finally paid 5 lakh rupees deposit each. Kitna crore hua?
25 crores.
That's it. ये सब कहाँ सीखा? You are not an MBA, right? If you are born in a village, You don't need an MBA.
Poverty and frugality teaches you that.
The challenge, in village is a very powerful university where your MBA is all practical and there is no theory and lecture. So there's a problem solving. Having said that, I think I used to think a lot about solutions that are needed, and I was getting them without any mentor. I had no mentor.
How were you getting them? By just thinking?
Thinking, problem आ गया तो problem solve करना है तो problem solve करो.
Sir, आपके कोई co-founders थे? Your wife, right?
My brother.
Your brother and your wife.
So it was a journey in which there was no money needed. Instead of my money in the market money is in my hand. I pay that money to my vendor and ask for 5% cash discount. That improves 5% EBITDA.
Correct.
In the entire world, India is cheapest in healthcare.
Yes.
In entire India, I am the cheapest. Still, my EBITDA is 40%.
But you never really overcharge the customer.
There is no need to overcharge the customer. Volumes, okay, punchline. Profit should never come from customers' pockets. It should come from the floor efficiency. Though Indian Airlines and Indigo charges same 7,000 rupees between Bengaluru and Delhi, Indigo makes profit. Air India doesn't make profit because floor efficiency. Very important. Any business which makes profit from the floor efficiency will live for 50 years. Any business which makes profit from customer's pocket will only live for maximum 10 years.
As long as the customer is willing to pay.
Jet Airways.
There you go. It's just put. Incredible.
So that way the most efficient system and most profitable system. And there was a growth of 25% year over year for 25 years.
CAGR of 25%.
In some years, it went down to 11, 12. Some years, it went to 36, 40. But over a period of 25 years, it is 20.
So every 3 years, you're doubling.
Literally.
That's almost putting like a zero every couple of years. Wow.
Let me put it in this way. In last 60 years, after going to Mumbai 40 years, in these 40 years, I've added every 6 year 10 to my net worth. Every 6 years, 10. It is not linear growth.
Hockey
Very powerful growth.
Hockey stick. Sir, obviously, like you've told all the good things. I'm sure जब आप चला रहे थे, बहुत सारा कुछ problems हुए होंगे. What are the biggest problems that you have faced in this journey and how did you overcome this? At least in the early time is what I'm very intrigued to know about.
See, I will tell you, there are again two kinds of people. One who sees small problem as big problem. Another guy sees big problem as small problem. It all depends. When the problem is big, if the problem is taller and you are shorter, that is a big problem. And if you are taller and the problem is not taller, that's small problem. And then there was no problem which came in front of me, which was bigger than me. Yeah, there used to be problem. Manpower will go away after training. But then that should not come as a shock.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be prepared for that.
Of course.
And I never had a borrowing, so there was no problem. And for 17 years of business, there was no outsider who will put pressure on me.
Correct.
So zero pressure. After they came in, I gave them 18% CAGR. They were
Who came in?
The CX partners came in as an investor in 2010. They were with me for 5 years. I gave 4x. So there was nothing, truly, it is a heaven. It's very difficult to imagine. Let me tell you, who has problems in business?
Wow.
Najar hati, durgatna gati. Mera najar kabhi hati nahi. That is the focus. For 27 years, I have worked 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Punchline. 7 to 11 was the heaven. That was, why did I exit my business? This is too much. I can't do, so should not do it like this. My children used to tell me, Dad, just focus for 4 hours and relax like other businessmen. I can't do that. So I completely came out thinking that if I am in, I am fully in. That is known as obsession, focus, determination, and that only differentiated Velumani. Let me put it in this way. I did a business for 25 years. I worked almost 100 years of hard work, and probably I made a 500 years of revenue network. So I was happy to do that.
Sir, I also know that Thyrocare, you took it public. You took it IPO. How was that journey like? How did you take it public? And then you got acquired, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting story because it's the flip side, right?
Till 2010.
2010.
I never went and pitched.
Correct.
I didn't need money. Company was making profits.
How many employees were there by then?
In 2010, there were 800.
800? Full time?
Full. And there was no interest to dilute, no interest to take outsiders. But investors came and pitched.
You didn't go, investors came.
So there is a punchline. If you go and pitch, your value is half. If investor comes and pitches, the value is double.
Yeah.
मैं गाँव से आया हूँ. I know this is a theory. So then the investors were on my table. They wanted to purchase my stock. Then I understood that now I can afford to tell any rate because I don't want to dilute. I didn't appoint any valuation agencies. Because they were sitting in front of me, I was sitting and calculating. My mathematics is very fast. And my company may be worth 200 crore. Let me tell 400. So I told 400 crore. What logic?
How much revenue was it then?
That time, the revenue was 100 crores and the profit was 40 crores.
Okay, so you said 40 into 10.
So 400 crores. What is the logic? You are on my table. What a bold... Because I don't have any other lie. I don't want to dilute. You want it. So 400. No. That's too much. They walked away. And exactly after 6 months, the same party comes. That means I told the right value. But then this time I had a courage to raise 500. They were annoyed. 6 months, you added 100. Yes, 2 quarter acha gaya. They went away. That time they came. And this time, even before asking for coffee, I told 600. And they agreed. They agreed for 600. And diluted 25%, took 150 crores, put in the pocket because it was secondary.
Oh, wow.
It was secondary.
Do you want to explain what secondary is for people?
Primary means money coming inside the company.
Business.
Secondary means the promoter is selling his stock and cashing it.
Yeah.
And you know why I took 150 crores and sold 25%? To have the thrill. A boy with 500 rupees came to Mumbai. Today he really has a company worth 600 crore. Kyunki deal done.
150 crore bank mein.
So that is how I diluted my first round. And then, another party came after 1.5 years.
Okay.
I asked them, how did you come to know about me? They only told me.
Their value has to go up now.
And listen to one punchline. If you are just married, you must love your wife so much. Your mother-in-law tells you to marry the other daughter also. So they have sent another investor. So this time I thought 600, I diluted 25%. Should I tell 800? Then I thought these guys might be crazy, must have brought check me. If I tell 800, if they agree for it, it is loss. So मन चाहता था 1000 बोलूं, मुंह से निकले 1200.
ओके, लेकिन आपका रेवेन्यू प्रॉफिट 40-50 करोड़
बढ़ता है. About that year we really grew around 50%.
ओह वाओ, ओके,
So
60 crores हो गया था.
See, the investor sees it grown 50%. He has told one more man, you go, this is a good company, we're growing well. So मन चाहता था कि 1000 बोलूं, मुंह से निकला 1200. They said checkbook लाया.
अरे वाह,
So I diluted another 10%, and took money and put in my pocket.
120 crores.
So money has not gone inside the company. After 5 years, the first guy has to go out. He asked me, can we do IPO? I said, why not? The thrill, I do mathematics, jaldi, why not? It's a board meeting. So my family took me aside. IPO, pagal ho gaya.
Public money.
Janjat. Every shareholder will ask question, you have to answer. No, don't agree. Let them go. Sell it to somebody else and go. Want to listen to this?
Yes.
Discussion there.
Yes.
Look, Coimbatore में भी जी सकता था. Why did I come to Mumbai? Thrill. I could have married a girl from village. Why did I marry a Bombay girl? Thrill. I could have continued to work in government. Why did I resign? Thrill. Why did I take private equity inside? Thrill. By now they understood IPO is for thrill. So I went for an IPO. And in the month of May 2016, IPO is on. First day I got subscribed 4 times.
Wow.
Second day I got subscribed 15 times. I thought third day it will be 30 times. And when the third day it ended, it was 75 times subscribed. Couldn't believe myself. After 10 years of lull in the stock market, after Reliance Power, first company to clock 75 times subscription was Thyrocare, Velumani. तभी समझ में आया लोगों को ये मद्रासी है. तब तक किसी को पता नहीं था ये कौन है. मेरा गांव वाला भी thinking पे, this man is from our place. So to that extent, it became very powerful subscription. Very interesting point here. We were celebrating 75 times subscription. 50 people on the floor. Night, 9 o'clock. In my smartphone, I receive a lawyer notice. And the lawyer notice says, I am the accused number 1. All directors, all lead managers, Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, ROC, SEBI, सबका नंबर लगाए, मतलब नाम लगाए. I thought ऐसा तो मैं अकेला किया रहेगा तो I would be only accused. Now this many accused, problem may not be mine. Cool. Third day, summons come from Bombay High Court. The accusation is, he came to put his bid at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and the computer was hanging. So he could not submit the bid. Computer किसका था? उसका था. उसका कंप्यूटर हैंग हो रहा है और लायर नोटिस मुझे,
क्योंकि आपका स्टॉक खरीद नहीं पा रहा है वो. अरे यार. Okay.
So third day lawyer notice and 7th day Bombay High Court summons. High Court judge is asking the question, do you have objection in taking this money? आज तक किसी भी कोर्ट में किसी भी जज तो पैसा लेने के लिए जबरदस्त किया क्या?
नहीं.
Right? And I knew this is what is coming up. And I had gone with the answer. I have no objection.
Thrill.
Because if I accept it without a court order, I am spoiling the prospects of the other shareholders who have applied. So I have to wait till court gives me an order. Now court gives an order. Accept this money. 3 words, judgment. Amount was 350 crores. Single check. Kotak Mahindra Bank was the client.
Oh.
So the punchline comes. जब भगवान देता है,
पड़ फाड़ के देता है.
हाई कोर्ट से दिलाता है. So it got subscribed
Oh my God.
75 times. And then on the day it got listed, it had an upside of 40%.
How much did you list the company at?
3,300 crore, $500 million, because 66 rupees per dollar was then in 2016. Now, in the stock exchange. We go to ring the bell. Unfortunately, did I use this word unfortunately even once? No. I lost my wife. I lost her 50 days before the listing day. And she went for a pancreatic cancer, grade number 4, diagnosed very late. So that was the unfortunate part of the entire 65 years of my life. It was almost like an Everest expedition. We were journeying for literally 24 years to reach there. And I said I didn't want to marry her, but then it was to happen.
Yeah.
And I also said she resigned her job to establish my success. I never recognized her as a co-founder because those days these words were not existing.
Correct.
And she was the one who probably did all what I said. A. B. She also did what I forget to tell. C. She also did so many things which I can never imagine that she can do. So that's the power of that contribution. I believe the success is hers. I only was the front end. And she was the one who was instrumental in getting me 2 degrees, MSc, PhD. Taught me Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati. Otherwise, the Madrasi speaking Hindi would have not been much easier. And also she made me scientist, entrepreneur, storyteller. So I have a punchline there. If men are successful, families prosper. And if women are successful, societies prosper. I think today the biggest success of Thyrocare is availed by millions of Indians as a economical pathology solution is done by her. And I believe, in fact, it is like this. If your spouse trusts you, your energy is 10x. And if your spouse doubts you, it's just 0.1x. So I want men and women to understand, if the husband and wife don't sync, they will sink. SINK. If they don't sync,
They'll sing.
they will sink. So it's a very important husband and wife sync well. And then had I not had IPO, exit would have been difficult.
Correct.
There is no price discovery to be done listed company.
But then you already made 270 crore
Yes.
from secondaries, right?
Yes.
But you're talking about exit from the company
Exit.
completely. Makes sense, yes. Okay. You went public. How did life change? And also in terms of एक question मैं actually पूछना भूल गया कि 800 employees थे. कहाँ से आए थे? क्या करते थे? Was there anything different? Because मुझे ये लगता है कि employees are the people who build the company eventually, right?
Yeah, actually, Bombay is a place where people who come for jobs from outside.
Correct.
In those days, Tamilians and Malayalis were plenty in Mumbai. 25 years back, Tamil Nadu and Kerala didn't have today's per capita income. For them, getting a job was, in Mumbai, there was an opportunity. So there used to be a lot of people. From 1990 to 2005, 15 years, Tamil Nadu, Kerala in Mumbai. From 205 till 2020, UP, Bihar in Mumbai. So it's completely changed. Now, finally, when I left business, it was a lot of UP, Bihar, Odisha, Bengal boys. And I took only freshers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't tell this to you. In 1978, when I was rejected in jobs because of lack of experience, I took a decision then. One day, if I run a company, I will not take experienced. My company has a unique distinction, 99.9% freshers.
And आप उनको train करोगे?
Yes. So take freshers. And for fresher, 4 criteria needed.
Okay.
गांव से आया होना चाहिए. गरीब होनी चाहिए और फार्मर के सन रहेगा तो अच्छा है
Okay.
और उसको इंग्लिश अच्छा नहीं होना है
क्यों?
English,
Why were these 4 things important?
I chose that because it was me,
You wanted your versions.
my replicas. It's like a robo picture Rajinikanth. Bang.
I can imagine. वही दिमाग में आ रहा था मुझे भी.
So I cloned similar boys who love their family. Punchline. There are two kinds of children. One who loves the family, the other one loves his bed. दुनिया में दो ही तरीका के बच्चे हैं, एक परिवार से प्यार करता है, दूसरा कटिया से प्यार करता है.
इसका क्या, कटिया से प्यार करने का मतलब क्या है? सोना है. अच्छा.
जो खटिया से प्यार करता है वो परिवार से प्यार कर ही नहीं सकता है. Very truth, powerful communication. So I used to have boys who will have higher level of stamina, energy, who will ask, sir, do I get overtime? I had 10 boys who have worked 1,000 nights without a single night break. They never took leave. And they did all holidays work.
Wow.
They're still there.
आपका
And they are vice president, general managers today. So I was very clear there. And let me also put it this way. Take a fresher, train him for 100 days. He is equivalent to 1,000 days trained from competition.
Would you do it the same way all over again if you had to?
There is no other way it can be done to have 40% EBITDA. You have to go same way. Nowadays, I meet a lot of entrepreneurs in every event.
Yes, sir.
So tell me, what is the major problem you have? Sir,
People.
आदमी नहीं मिलता है.
People.
I tell them, अगर आदमी हिंदुस्तान में नहीं मिल रहा है तो जर्मनी में थोड़ी मिलेगा. Then he realizes that ये ढूंढ रहा नहीं है. ढूंढेगा तो मिलता है. Second, another guy will tell, sir, actually trained आदमी नहीं मिलता है. I tell them, बच्चे चाहिए तो खुद का चाहिए, एम्प्लॉय चाहिए और कोई ट्रेन करके देना है. Take employees and train them. That's the best way to run the business. The third guy is telling, sir, I train, but these guys run away.
Correct.
For that, the punchline is, if you don't love your spouse, the neighbor will. And if you don't love your employee, your competitor will. Please ensure he is respected. Otherwise, he will leave and run away. So this is the HR. These three punches of mine very clearly tells that there is enough people, you can train them and you can employ them and be nice to them and kind to them and they will work for it. So that's the only way to go. Even if I today go, I will take freshers and work on it.
Got it. So just going back to the story again, public market mein you are listed right now. Valuation is 750 million almost. Then अगर 40% बढ़ गया.
On the day I exited, it was 7,300 crore when 73 rupees per dollar. So $1 billion आया जिस दिन मैं exit किया. It coincided with my announcement of exit.
So you exited the 100% of the company.
100%. 66% मेरा पास था. बाकी पब्लिक के पास था ना.
And usually public markets में promoters का value कम होने से stock गिर जाता है ना?
गिर गया ना.
अच्छा.
गिर गया. When I left, it was 1,300 per share. Today it is 600 per share.
What is the story of this 5,000 crore check? This is the story.
This is the story. Because 66% of that 7,300 is 5,300 rupees per share it was. And 66% I got and it's a single check.
If I'm not mistaken, Pharmeasy eventually, हाँ, उन्होंने ही acquire किया था ना इसको, and उन्होंने वो company को public से private कर दिया फिर से.
No, still public. They hold it's a fully owned subsidiary, fully owned listed subsidiary.
Interesting. So, sir, how has life changed since then?
Life hasn't changed. Money has not changed me. And there is a saying in Marathi.
Okay, and, not Tamil, Marathi.
Marathi. paisa ke sath manat nahi. That means money should be in the pocket.
Okay.
It should not be in the head. I don't think money has changed me. I still continue to wear the same attire, drive the same car which I used to drive, and nothing changed. See, I'll tell you the big challenge is punchline. Consumers cannot create. Consumers
Cannot
create. So creators should not become consumers. Punchline number 2. Money and honey sound similar.
Yeah.
Honey is collected by honeybee.
Beekeepers. Haan.
Honeybee. Money is collected by honeybee. If honeybee falls in honey, what happens?
Drown.
Dies.
Yeah.
So is honeybee. So don't become victim to your own success.
So, sir, creators should not become consumers. You're a creator. What are you creating next? I know you've become a content creator for sure now.
See, one thing I'll tell you. I think again a punchline comes. जो भी हम सोचा था वो नहीं हुआ. जो भी हो गया था वो नहीं सोचा. अभी सोचना ही बंद कर दिया. So nowadays people ask me a question. Dr. Velumani, what next? Ask him, why you want me to become pregnant again? If I had to run a company, अच्छा था. I could have ran. I don't want to run a company.
Correct.
But then I must tell him an honest answer because tomorrow if I do something, he comes, आपने बोला था pregnant नहीं होएगा. So I tell them, देखो, there is no intention to become pregnant. But by any chance, if I become pregnant,
Accidental.
I will deliver. See, it's not that I have to do something and then I think, see, one more zero doesn't make
Money.
very
Anything.
big difference.
Yeah.
But if you love and if you
Correct.
happen to be there, you be there. Otherwise, enjoy. Let me also tell you,
Yes, sir.
I'm 65-year-old man. First 30 years, it's all too much of time, no money. Second 30 years, too much of money, no time. Only for the last 4 years, I have both.
Amazing.
And without both, there is no fun in life.
Both money and time.
So I don't have an intention to once again get into proving to the earth, मैं कौन हूँ.
But I do see that आप content creation बहुत enjoy कर रहे हो. We love your content. It's all over the place. Instagram में share होता रहता है आपके punches. आज बहुत नया भी सुना है. But how are you enjoying that process?
See, I am of that opinion. 2 things have gone totally wrong in the society. One is parenting. Second one is education.
Agreed.
Education is chasing marks, not
Degrees.
knowledge.
Certificates.
Not knowledge.
Absolutely.
Pampering is happening. Parenting is not happening. Pampering is spoiling the children. They can't think of their own. They can't work on their own. They become slaves of servants. So I want to use my time, energy to create a communication to parents. Your money is spoiling your child's future. Play conservative. Make sure the child does his work. The child does even your work. And make sure the servants are not around. Make sure that the child can live on his own even if no money is in hand. Teach him what is focus, what is frugality, what is discipline, so that he one day lives on his own self very, very dignified way.
And can solve his own problems.
Yes. And today, those days reaching to common man was not so easy. Today, I have a reason to believe my dream. So you ask what next?
Yes.
My dream, I'm good at English, Hindi, and Tamil. I want to have Insta handles for all the 3 separate. And each of them, I want 10 million followers.
Oh my God.
I am no less than Rajinikanth.
Amazing. Amazing.
By the way, you want to know what's the what is that me and Rajinikanth connecting? He came to Tamil Nadu from Maharashtra in 1980s. There was a ledger imbalance.
You balanced the list.
So I was sent from Tamil Nadu to Maharashtra. And afterwards only I realized actually he didn't go from Maharashtra, he went from Bengaluru. So now I have come to Bengaluru. I happened to meet him for an hour.
Oh yeah?
He gave me time.
Amazing.
So
He's a very kind man.
he's very, very nice man. And I like him, his movies, his theories, his philosophy. So he has been my punchline role model.
Amazing. Sir, I have a question. You've gone from small village in Coimbatore to going to Bombay to do your job. वहाँ से आपने company शुरू किया, secondary किया, IPO किया, exit किया. Out of all these, and of course, in the middle, you got married to a beautiful lady. So many things have happened.
Intelligent lady.
Right? Beauty is in the mind. What made your mom the proudest out of all this?
See, my mother had never known what was my final qualification. See, I think it's a very koi bhi bacha. He should do a degree which his mother cannot understand.
Why?
Because if she herself is an MSc or PhD, what else you can do?
Oh, yeah.
If she was an illiterate lady, for my mother, BSc or MSc or PhD doesn't make much of a difference. So she was very proud if somebody, he has studied something for 25 years.
That's it.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, she did not know how rich I am. That's also very important. You become so rich, your parents are wondering how rich you are. One day there was a question asked by her, how rich are you? I told, look, in entire Coimbatore, I am the richest man. She's just very happy. Because for her, a district itself is the world. So she was very happy that in the entire district, my son is richest. I think she was extremely happy. First time in life, I must tell.
Yes, sir.
Month of May, we both were working in the field for 25 days, 1 rupee a day.
Correct.
Each of us. So finally she decided she will give me 2 rupees. And there was a mela in the nearby village. And she will send me so that the hard work which I have made, I will buy something, eat and play and come. 2 rupees, then it was equivalent to today probably 200 rupees.
Okay.
Even much more than that. So with 2 rupees, she sent me to that mela. And there are a lot of fun fair and lot of, that, what is that one which goes cycle up and down?
Giant wheel.
Sapte. Generally boys will go and play there and come back. I went and there were some stalls put, and in the stalls I saw a soap box. Then immediately I realized the soap at my home is not having a box. So one soap box I purchased. Then I found one salt dabba.
Dal sakte ho, haan.
Chota.
Haan.
Then I saw this, there is a dabba in which 6-7 parts will be inside masala.
Yeah, masala box. Haan, pata hai. Haan.
All the three put together 1 rupee 80 paisa. And for 20 paisa, I purchased kurmura. Ate and came. When I came home, my mother saw these 3. Who told you to buy this? No, I thought it will be useful. She cried. She went and told all her peers, my son has brought it. And in that village, not many houses had it. Now, the question here comes. Every mother gives money to children. Idiots spend it. Intelligents invest it.
And this was when you were 15 years old.
Then I was 11 or 12.
12 years old. Wow.
First time I decided it's my mother, her kitchen and everything for me was my mother. And there are a good number of occasions where I have done certain things. She used to feel, in this age, this boy does it. So going to Mumbai all alone,
That's
with
exactly why she never questioned.
no one knowing me, she didn't question. Marrying a Bombay girl, she didn't question. And then she had absolute faith in me, trust in me. I think I put it this way. I have my PhD thesis, last paragraph, acknowledgements. The acknowledgement last is about to my parents. I thank my parents for giving me nothing except freedom. Understand what I'm talking? Nothing except freedom. Today's parents give everything except freedom. That is known as parenting. So I want that to be relished by many mothers, that their children have achieved something and produce pride for family and parents. Next question.
So well put. I'm soaking it in.
All of them are watching a live movie.
Yeah, I was about to say that this should be a movie. Maybe that should be your next creative gig.
देखता है, हम जो सोचते हैं होता नहीं है.
And maybe Rajinikanth sir can.
नहीं, he's too old for it.
Sir, we have spoken about your journey, your stories in length. Now I want some takeaways for people directly of this generation. So a lot of people who watch this content are people who want to build, want to start businesses, are stuck. What is your one advice for someone who's considering, वो जो सोच रहा है कि मुझे अभी कुछ शुरू करना है? What is that one advice that you have for that person?
What he is, what he has, what he wants, these three things are very important to advise.
Okay.
आजकल की बच्चे लोग 18 उम्र में ही जुकरबर्ग बनना चाहते हैं.
Zuckerberg.
ये बहुत प्रॉब्लम है. So my advice is, there is an age for starting entrepreneurship. The earlier you start, success rate is low.
What do you think is the right time, sir?
Right time is 30 to 35.
Sure.
My advice have been, first, identify which field you want to do business. Identify a company which is doing 10 crore in that line.
10 crores in that line.
Go and join in that company, because 10 crore doing company will have 70, 80 employees to 100 employees.
Correct. 10 crore revenue or 10 crore?
10 crore revenue.
Okay, sir.
And you join there. Work with them for 10 years. By the end of the 10 years, if the company has crossed 100 crore and you have become general manager,
you know everything about the company.
Sir, advice to youth: don't burn your father's money. Don't burn your investors' money. Make some money, you won't be able to burn it.
मेरा next question ये था कि what companies do you recommend to raise capital and what companies do you recommend not to raise capital? But I kind of got the answer, but still if you want to.
No. See, raising capital should not be done by loss-making companies. Scaling up only should be looking for funds, not operations, number one. But having said that, I still want to get back to the original definition. Don't scale up loss-making companies.
Sir, what is your आप ये companies, for example, मैं Facebook का ही example ले लूँगा. Anything which is consumer tech, जो internet के ऊपर बन रहा है. For example, Uber. I have worked at Uber for 5 years. I believe that there are few companies which cannot be built if they don't make loss in the first few years because they're creating a category.
उनके बारे में मैं टिप्पणी करना नहीं चाहता हूँ.
Okay. Most of them don't fall in that bucket.
I think we should not be taking the 10 best companies or 100 best companies and talk about entrepreneurship.
Agreed.
Entrepreneurship should be started by someone who has maturity enough, understand the space, enough money to pull it till he finds profitability, and then scalability will improve the profitability. And for scaling up, you look for funds.
Correct. And
profitability is already bare minimum there. I am talking about 95% of the...
Probably 98%.
I am not talking about that exceptional companies. It's very important whenever we talk about the majority.
Correct. Agreed. Completely agreed.
And I always talk voice about the majority of the entrepreneur. You know one thing, trying to copy an outlier is stupidity.
It's an outlier for a reason.
So if Velumani has run a company without borrowing, without taking funds inside, it's an outlier.
Correct.
That's I am also agreeing. If Velumani had 40% profit last 25 years, it's an outlier. And all businesses cannot. You must have 15-20% for at least 10 years so that you have gone there. You must do 15-20% profit. That itself is business. Not, I shouldn't be trying to be a Rajinikanth. His exception, Amitabh exception, Kohli exception, and Dhoni exception. Those are all 5% of the best in this world cannot be copied.
Sir, what is the framework? So I'll tell you, सब लोग सोचते क्या है ना, सबको आपने जैसे बोला, सबको ज़करबर्ग बनना है. So everybody is thinking that they are building a company which is that 5%, which is an outlier company. जब ये narrative में लोग जाते हैं, तब यही सोचते हैं कि यार मेरा प्रोडक्ट बनेगा ही नहीं अगर मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है. तो कैसे फ्रेमवर्क अप्लाई करें for you to even understand that you are following in this 95 and 5 self awareness के अलावा?
I think अपने आप को जो बड़ा समझ लेता है तो उसको कोई बचा नहीं सकता है. Right? You now know last 5 years, $10 billion valuation has come down to less than $1 billion. ये क्या खेल है? कितना लोगों के परिवार से बर्बाद हुई है? कितनी एम्प्लॉइज को तुम चीटिंग किया है? वो थोड़ी बिजनेस है. Please note, business is a marathon race. It's not a 100-meter dash. Punchline, want to listen?
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to become a billionaire before you meet your father-in-law. But you must become a billionaire before you see the son-in-law. So exceptions are exceptions. It's very difficult to give exceptions in the mind and misguide the
Correct.
Majority.
Agreed. 95% don't fall in that bracket. With all this generative AI, chat GPTs and, Geminis of the world, have you been following it? What is your
yes, I have been following. I am understanding that the years from 2025 to 2050, that is next 25 years, probably we will make such progress which we made in last 100 years.
All because of AI. Yeah. What is your take on लोग बोल रहे हैं ना jobs चले जाएंगे, there are reports coming in 40% of the jobs will be replaced.
आज से 30 साल पहले State Bank of India has announced a nationwide band for two days.
Okay.
Because their management announced they are bringing in 1,000 computers. They thought
employees.
So all employees thought naukri chala jayega. They went for 2 days strike. If today State Bank of India announces all computers we are removing from the bank, all of them will die.
Correct.
So is AI.
So new revolution will happen.
Punchline. Pains are never a problem. Fear of the pains is the biggest problem. So what you see all halla is fear of the pain. There is no one will lose job. Who will lose job? There are two kinds of people. One who thinks and works. Other only works. AI will disrupt only guys who can work only. Think and work cannot be disrupted. Which means what? This guy has to be made to think. That's number one. Number two, AI will only facilitate everybody to do work easy.
Correct.
It won't disrupt. There will be a few people who never updated their brain, updated their knowledges, updated their skill sets. They will all struggle. But overall, it's going to be prosperity for the humanity. Imagine you work on only 3 hours in a day and you get entire 8 hours of salary. Has it put you in trouble? That's going to happen. When the productivity improves, profitability improves, prosperity improves. And when the employer is prospering, employee will prosper.
True. Very
That's
true.
how it is.
Makes sense. Sir, now that you're out of Thyrocare, no job, what do you do on a daily basis? Apart from creating content, of course.
No,
How does your day go now?
no, in that way, the brain is still working.
Oh.
I do mentor few people. I have invested 1/3 of my money into ETF and mutual funds.
1/3 of your money.
1/3 of my money I put in that startup which acquired my company.
You did.
And that is in doldrums.
Why?
What was valued at 10 billion, I invested then, thinking that it will go to 15, 20 billion. It has come down to 1 billion. So that's a disaster. But then there is a saying, in your 100 decisions, if 51 is right, you are very successful.
Yeah, Warren Buffett.
Don't sit and cry for the
absolutely.
remaining 49. But having said that, my Pharmeasy investments will come back to me without returns by 2030.
Okay.
That's my conviction about business. And 1/3 I have put in real estate. So that's it as far as the investments are concerned. And I do mentor boards of 3 companies. And punchline here is, I did business in diagnosis for 25 years. Now I can diagnose any business. And at times I tell the people, prepare some 15 slides and make a presentation. And after listening to the presentation, I can tell them what is the problem. Gentlemen, your pricing is too high. No, sir, compared with my competitor, I am competitive. I'm telling you, they also have priced it high, you also have priced it high. Second time I tell, look, you are not running a company, you are running your family, because your brother-in-law is head of that, your own brother is head of here, all of you, only family, you are not running a company. Then I tell them, gentlemen, itna borrow kiya, tumhara business kaisa, how it will become viable? Too much of debt you have to come out of it. And then you are not using technology. That is because of which you are suffering. The next one is, you are not full-time running the business. Sure. So these kind of basic things I can tell. HR problem hai, IT problem hai, I can tell them. So sometimes if I like them and if they persuade me, I invest 2 hours and talk about it. And let me tell you, luxury in life is, you work when there is no need to work. So I am having that luxury.
Amazing. Yeah.
So sometimes I refuse, sometimes I do it. I listen to music.
You do. What kind of
I
music?
walk 10 kilometers each day.
Wow.
So that is an average 10 kilometers a day. Music I love. I am the only guy who can enjoy Mannade also, Balamurali Krishna also. I am having an ability for Hindi and Tamil music. And I'm a simple South Indian who eats only dosa, idli, upma, pongal category.
Rameshwaram Cafe serves you well.
That serves the purpose. I made my children to understand a daily 100 rupees is what I need for my each meal. So 300 rupees per day is what I need. By the way, I want to listen to one punchline.
Yes, sir.
If you eat for your intestine, if you eat only for your intestine, it's only 100 rupees a day.
Okay.
If you eat for your tongue, it is 500 rupees a day. And if you eat for your eyes, it is 2,000 rupees a day. And if you eat for your Instagram, it is 5,000 rupees a day plus 28% GST. So my needs are very, very little. And I must tell you, that is making me very happy. And Until 25, it was my mother's frugality which lifted that family. And after 24, my marriage is my wife frugality created this $1 billion asset. I'm very proud to tell both of my children are more frugal even than my wife, which means you don't have a worry at all. And make children frugal. Punchline. If you act richer, you will become a beggar. And if you act poorer, you will become an emperor. It's very
powerful.
Very huge thing, right? Now the new problem has started. The problem is until January 2024, I go into any mall, any road, no one recognizes.
Now everybody knows.
Now after becoming an influencer, I lost my freedom 10%. So that's how little.
But you like it?
In that way, people come and give you respect and ask for a selfie. I think, in fact, I asked them, come, want to take a selfie?
Make that.
Yeah. It's very, very important.
Sir, after everything, any regrets?
Are you interviewing Vijay Mallayya or Velumani?
That is why this question is more important. Can a man like this still have regrets?
I think one thing I regret is I did a preventive care testing for millions of people in this country. I didn't do one for my wife. Had I done an ultrasound of her abdomen periodically 10 years back, I might have identified it earlier. I think that's the only regret I have got. All the remaining, I should not segregate and see what is right, what is wrong. I think in my entire journey, 95% of things were very enjoyable. Maybe 5% is not. But as I said, I never have seen the days of worry, I don't remember. And days of happiness, I think this is the difference between people who are positive and negative. The negative people will only remember the painful days, painful relationship, painful situations. The positive man only remembers the great times. It's all here.
Very true.
So I have been positive always, laughing always. I didn't tell the full punchline. Let me repeat it.
Yes.
जो जीतता है वो शायद हार सकता है, लेकिन जो जिताता है वो कभी हारता नहीं है. जो खाता है वो शायद भूखा मर सकता है, लेकिन जो खिलाता है वो कभी भूखा नहीं मरता है. जो हंसता है वो शायद रो सकता है, लेकिन जो हंसाता है वो कभी रोता नहीं है. तो मुझे हंसा के आदत हो गए हैं. There is nothing I ever had a worry, sat and got stressed.
Incredible. Sir, what a pleasure spending time with you, asking questions. I'm so grateful.
Whenever somebody is sitting with me, there are two outcomes. One is pleasure, another is pressure.
Thank you too much.